Welcome to Chatting Shit with Ostique, the podcast series where we chat about shit with inspirational people from all walks of life. Today, we are joined by the wonderful and inspiring Courtney Nelson. We hope that you enjoy this conversation. Welcome to Chatting Shit with Ostique, Courtney. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, my pleasure, my pleasure. Why don't we start off, whilst I know that you don't currently have stoma, but perhaps we could start off by you kind of just giving a bit of an introduction to yourself, why you did have stoma surgery, and then perhaps afterwards we can kind of talk about your reversal and your J-pouch.
Yeah. So I'm Courtney, I'm 27. I had a colostomy. It was actually an ileostomy. I always struggle to say that. Ileostomy bag. I had that when I turned 20. Basically, I had always had problems with my stomach from I was about 13, from when I went into high school. Constantly sent home from school not well, constantly in a lot of pain. Obviously at that point, like, my family thought that I was just at it, wanting sent home from school, just not wanting to do it. I was asked if I was getting bullied. I was asked everything. And I mean, that was a big, because I'm quite a fiery person, so like, if they were going down that route and they were like, right, are you getting bullied? And I was like, no. My stomach's just absolutely terrible. So that was me for about the best part of 5 years. And then I always remember getting closer to my 18th birthday and it was just terrible, absolutely shocking. And I remember being on loads and loads of steroids, and in all the pictures from my 18th birthday, I've got like the moon face, everyone calls it, and it's like, oof, my body's like that, but my face is like, so it was just horrible. And then I always remember like getting diagnosed, and basically I was at my little girl's grand's house on her dad's side, and I remember eating a ham and cheese toastie, and the minute I ate it I thought, oh my god, I need to go home now. And I was like a solid 45 minutes away from my house. I was in the car the full way back, like, oh my god, I was in so much pain. It wasn't even like I need to get, well, it was like I need to get to a toilet, but I was like, I am in agony, like, I don't know what is wrong with me. Went home, got to the toilet, and when I done it, it was just, there was no, like, it wasn't like you were going to the toilet, you weren't passing anything, it was just blood everywhere. So went up to the hospital, and then that was kind of the process of getting diagnosed. So that was me, get diagnosed at 18, was put in various different medications, tried everything, and I was like in remission at one point. And then I fell pregnant with my little girl when I was 19. Had her, and basically the day that I gave birth I went back into a flare-up. So yeah, that was, from then on it was just really, really difficult. Trying to raise a newborn, because obviously you've got a major lack of sleep as it is, never mind having like a chronic illness that it just takes over your full life. You don't want to do anything, you just want to lie in your bed and try and source some sort of energy from somewhere. So once I'd had my little girl, the flare up kind of started straight away, and that lasted for 9 months, from January till September. And then in September I went into hospital in a flare and didn't come back out for like 5 or 6 weeks, and that was when that's when I got my bag. So what happened was they tried me in all sorts of different drugs. I'd never actually been tried with any intravenous drugs, so they tried me in all different forms of them, and they were waiting on the inflammation levels going down. Nothing was happening, and they came in and the surgeon spoke to me, and he was so nice, and I actually, honestly, I remember him to this day, and he just kept saying to me, I'm not giving you this bag. I'm not giving you this bag. You're a young girl, you've got your life ahead of you. I'm trying every form of medication before I give you this. And I was like, right, okay, that's fine. At that point, Tony, I was just in that much pain, I did not care what method he went down, to be honest. And I always remember trying, azathioprine was my last drug to try, and I always remember trying that on the Friday. and him waiting until the Tuesday. Yes, I always remember lying in the hospital and thinking, right, you've got a few days, try and let this kick in, let it. I was basically just praying for everything that it would work. The Tuesday came around and the surgeon just came and said to me, look, Courtney, nothing's happening here. I'm really, really sorry. We're going to need to do the bag. He said, so we'll do the bag no, we'll do it on Thursday. That's what he said to me. This was on the Tuesday. He says, we'll do it on Thursday morning, right? That gives you time to let people know and whatever else. And I said, right, okay. He came back within half an hour and said, you need to go now. You need to go now. Your inflammation levels are far too high. Your bowel is perforating right now. And see, at that point, I was lying there in agony, screaming. And he just said, no. He went, honestly, just turned around and he said, get that girl in now. Just take her in right now. So he did, and I had to sign all these things basically to say that I knew what I was like doing because I was so high in so many different drugs. I had to kind of sign to say, like, I know that yous are doing this to me, and like, I'm quite happy to go ahead and whatever else. And to be honest, I don't think I really knew what I was doing. I was just choking to be out of pain. So then I went in for the operation, and I woke up with a bag. So that was a daunting experience, to say the least. I had only realised what Crohn's and colitis was from getting diagnosed, so I didn't have a clue what this was, and I didn't have a clue what a bag was up until about 6 months before that. So yeah, that's how I ended up with the bag.
And just to be clear, you were when you're talking about your diagnosis, we're talking about ulcerative colitis.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was misinformed so many times. So at first they told me, oh, you've got Crohn's, and then I was told, no, you've got colitis, and then I was told, no, you've got both, and then I was told, no, it's just colitis. Didn't even know you could get both at one point, but obviously it's two different parts of your bowel, so you can. But yeah, it was all over the place. But yeah, my diagnosis now is ulcerative colitis. Yeah.
I've got kind of two questions on that. Do you, the surgeon who was like, I don't want to give you a bag, do you think, though, there was a point that, after you'd had the surgery and that relief that you felt, do you kind of wish that actually perhaps you had it sooner and that it wasn't kind of necessarily suggested as the last resort, but actually this is something that can really alleviate your pain, and not to be afraid of it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I looked at it from both sides because I truly believe he was such a nice guy, and I truly do believe that he was just thinking, this girl's 21, do you know what I mean? And think, how is this going to affect her mentally? How is this going to affect her physically? I think he just genuinely wanted the best for me as a young girl. However, yeah, it was made out to me as if, like, right, well, this is kind of going to be your last resort and this is going to be quite bad, so we'll do that last. Like, I get exactly where you're coming from. And that's another thing that actually really annoys me about the bag is people would always go, so if you told somebody you had, like, even now when I tell people that I've had a colostomy bag before, or when I had it and I told them that I had it, it would be like, oh, Hen, I'm so sorry. And it was like, why? Why are you so sorry? Because you'd be more sorry if I wasn't here, and that's exactly what would have happened if I didn't get that bag. So yeah, sometimes the way that it's perceived does really, really get to me, because it's as if it is a bad thing and it is a last resort, and that's the worst thing that can happen to you, and we'll try every avenue up until that. So yeah, I see it from both sides of you.
Of course. I mean, you were 21.
Yeah.
And I wondered, like, and how, once you had the surgery, how did it affect you mentally and as well as physically?
Mm-hmm. Mentally, now that I look back, I think that it messed with my head. Let's say that. I was insecure. I was only 21. I'd lost so much weight. I was stick thin. I had nothing to me. It made me really, really insecure. I won't lie, especially because no one else I knew had one. I was the first person in my area. Well, I wasn't the first person in my area to have one, obviously, but I was the first person in my area to come out and say, "Oh, I've got this, and this is what's happening with me." And the first person to really acknowledge it, because I was getting a lot of messages on social media and stuff when I was in the hospital, really unwell, just saying like, "I hope you're okay" and stuff like that. And there was just too many to reply to. And to be honest, Tony, I was out my face with morphine half the time. I was like, I don't know what these people are saying. So I just kind of put a post on Facebook and said, like, thanks so much for like all your well wishes and stuff. This is the update of what's happening with me, because at one point nobody knew whether I was going to live or die. I caught sepsis in the hospital and stuff like that. It was really, really quite bad. So yeah, I just kind of put it out on Facebook, and yeah, I get a lot of messages and stuff from it. But then you get, obviously, you had your people that were like naive about it and uneducated, let's say, and just young and immature and just always got something to say. But at that point, Tony, I'd had my wee girl and I just looked at life a lot differently, and I just thought, I don't care what any of these people are saying. That, see, as long as I'm still here to raise my daughter, so be it. That bag saved my life in so many ways.
Amazing. And you said, though, because when you did get pregnant, you didn't have a flare up. It was
when I was pregnant, I was in complete remission, as they call it. I had not one symptom. I had nothing. It was amazing, to be fair. But I was always warned this could come back with an absolute vengeance the minute that you have your daughter. And that's basically exactly what happened.
It's wild. But as you said, you then had the surgery and felt, whilst insecure and had mental issues, hopefully, like from a physical side of things, it allowed you to then be the mother that you wanted to be.
Physically, yeah, getting the bag completely changed. Well, completely changed my life, like being a mother. For the first 9 months of Lily's life, I was so tired. I was so... Every new mother's tired, but it was like tired times 50 for me. I did not want to get up, ever. I did not want to get up, didn't want to do anything. And it ruined a lot of my, like, having been a parent for the first time, because there was things like that her dad would do with her that I simply couldn't do, which was like take her out a walk in the pram for like an hour. I could never be that far away from the house or from a bathroom or anything at that point in time, and I had no energy to walk, like nothing. So yeah, and I felt as if like it held, having the colitis held me back, but when I got the bag, physically it completely changed everything. Like, I put weight on, I looked healthier, I could do a lot more things. I did go out and do a lot more things. My relationship ended with Lily's dad, and like, nothing against him. I don't mean anything against him, but I thought I was going to be quite insecure and, oh my God, how am I ever going to meet somebody else and with this bag, and I'm not going to be able to do anything. And literally, like, I just did not, there was a point in time I just did not care what anybody thought about it, because I was just so happy to be living, that I was like, and I was living a good life where I could get up and I had energy to go do things, and I just thought, I just don't care what anybody thinks about this bag anymore. So physically my life changed, and I was actually like, I'm quite fit now, Tony. Like, I go to the gym at least 4 times a week, train really, really hard, and I've done that for about 3 years. And even though that's been without the bag, like when I had the bag I was going to the gym and stuff, and like before that I had no energy to do nothing. So yeah, physically it changed my full life and appearance, definitely.
That's really wonderful, and something really positive to come out of the surgery. And then, though, you had your reversal surgery actually not too long into having a stoma. Perhaps you could kind of tell us a little bit about that, how that came about. Was a reversal always on the cards, or was that something that you pushed for? And I also think it'd be really useful to kind of just give information about, like, what is a J pouch for somebody else kind of listening.
Mm-hmm. So when I got the pouch, sorry, what was the first question that you'd asked me? I'd forgot.
Had you always had having a reversal always kind of been on your mind?
Right, okay. So, yeah, one of the first things, literally just before I got the bag, I asked them, am I going to be stuck with this for life? And I'll be honest, that was the words that I used, am I going to be stuck with this for life? Because I didn't know, my outlook on it was that it was a bad thing to begin with. Do you know what I mean? So I was thinking, oh my goodness, and the guys, I remember my surgeon, Mr. McMillan, saying to me, no, I'm not, you're not, I was out my face at the time, but basically you're not infected that far down that we need to take everything away, so you're going to have the option for a reversal at some point. And I was just like, fine, just go ahead. But basically, after about 9 months, I'd always thought of a reversal, but I was just so happy to have the bag and be living a decent life that I just kind of didn't mention it for like. Plus, I knew that they wouldn't consider me until at least 9 months, until after your body's healed. So I left at the 9 months, and then I went back to my surgeon, and he referred me to a different surgeon to do a reversal because he wasn't confident when doing the reversal. Basically, that's what he said. He says, no, I'm not confident in doing it. I can give you the bag, no bother, but I'd rather send you to someone else to get it reversed. So he did, and I went and spoke to him, and this was in like the September. Now, bearing in mind, this is obviously pre-COVID. This is when everything was normal and the waiting times in hospitals weren't beyond belief. So I went and spoke to him in the September, and he was like, right, I can get you in on the 20th, I'm sure it was the 27th of November. He says, we can get you in the 27th of November, and this was like the last week in September, and I was like, oh, right, okay. I did not expect him to say that. And it kind of hit me that, oh, I need to go through another major operation again, and it's going to be right close to Christmas, and is it going to be too much, and are you going to be able to eat your Christmas dinner? That's what I was thinking. But yeah, so eventually went in for my reversal, and I was told that I actually had to have it in 2 parts. I was told that I would have to have it reversed, and they would need to create another stoma just now to let it heal, and then they would put it all back together. It was something along those lines, but basically that never ended up happening, and I just woke up and it was away. And I woke up, and the first thing I done was I patted my stomach with both my hands. I was like trying to feel, and I was like, where's my bag? And I always remember my mum and my cousin being at either side of me, and my mum saying to me, it's away, they managed to do it all in the one go. And I just burst out crying, and I was just like, ah, and I was like looking down at my stomach, and I was like, oh my god, I've never seen my stomach like this in over a year. And yeah, it was a very bittersweet moment, I must say. Definitely bittersweet. It was so good to be me again, but I just that my instant thought was, oh my god, am I going to be able to eat? Am I going to be able to be normal again? Like, do the toilet normally? Am I going to be able to do things without being in pain like every other person can? So yeah, that was the process with getting it reversed. And the J pouch itself, to be honest, I wasn't very, and I will be honest, I wasn't very educated on it. I was just kind of told you're getting a reversal, and I was like, right, okay, that's fine. But when I did actually look into it, I don't know too much. I'll be frank with you, but it's genuinely your bowel or your intestines have been shaped into a J, and it's like that's the way that it goes. Creates the pouch, which I'm sure acts as basically like a new intestine, so that, because essentially I had a part of mine removed. So it's as if they've, like, I could be wrong here, but I've assumed that what they've done is essentially stretched or like pulled more and then created it into a J, and that's where it obviously connects at the bottom to where you can go back to going to the toilet. So yeah, that's my understanding of it. To be honest, I put a lot of trust in the surgeons and let them do it. I was so happy with the way that the first one went that I had a lot of faith in the fact that it was going to be okay. So yeah.
And did they tell you sort of what could happen with the reversal, that there could be complications? And did you experience any of those complications?
Yeah, so I was always told, look, see, the first thing that they told me was that when you get this, if you get this reversed, there's a high chance that you could lower your chances of having kids. Any more kids, sorry, so I've already got a wee girl who's 7. at that point, I was single. I had Lily. I was struggling. Like, more kids were not on my agenda at that point. I was only 21 or 22. And it was just not on. I just, being honest, I couldn't have cared less whether I had any more kids or not at that age. It wasn't what I wanted at that time. So I was like, it's fine, it doesn't matter, and I've got a wee girl. I think I would have changed my mind if I didn't already have kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was told that basically it could just simply go wrong and it just doesn't work for you. There's a high chance that is what happens. And I know people that's happened to be honest. So they told me, like, this could just not work. You might get a couple of months out it, and then you need to go back to your bag. You might get 25 years out it, and then you need to get back to your bag. You might be fine for life. I don't know. Or it could simply not work. So I was made very aware of all the complications that could happen. I was told about the amount of pain that I was going to be in learning to go back to the toilet, because I'd only done the toilet in a bag, and I was like, I'm scared. Like, what if this urge just comes over me and I'm like, I mean, pardon the pun, right? But I was like, shit, what am I going to do? But I was made very aware of all the complications. Lucky for me that I didn't experience anything. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, I've not had any more kids, and I think that is going to be an issue for me, in the long run type thing. But in all honesty, the now Tony, like that, as I said, it's just, even right now, it's not something that I'm overly bothered about, so I can just kind of get on with it, really. But yeah, symptoms wise for me after the reversal, for the first 6 months, I won't lie, I thought to myself, what have I done? And why have I done this? And why did you not just keep your bag? Like, you were fine for like a year, and you've just got so impatient and so vain and so, and you just kept it. And I always remember 3 weeks after getting my reversal, and my friends asked me to go out, and they all knew it's a group of guys and girls, and I said, I'll come down, and I went to one of their houses, and I drove, and I just remember I got there, and within an hour I just remember thinking, oh my god, I need to go home now. I'm starving, but I can't eat here because I'll need to go to the toilet immediately. It wasn't good for the first 6 months. I really regretted it, and I was in agony every time I went to the toilet, I'll be honest. However, if anybody's watching and thinks, oh my god, that sounds dreadful, like, your body's still healing. So that was another major operation. So I really did try and persevere. I mean, I was on Google and all that every day, like, how long does it take to heal? But I tried, and I said, I'm not giving getting a bag back as an option for at least a year. I'll stick it out and try and let myself heal. And see, to be honest, I think about 6 to 7 months in is when I started to feel all right, because I remembered, like, going out and doing things like the following year and thinking, right, I can actually go out and do this now and stuff. So it got better after a while. I must admit, my body calmed down, it healed, it completely changed. Like, when I was going to the toilet, I wasn't in pain anymore. It was uncomfortable, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't in pain. Now, Tony, essentially, I can eat whatever I want, like, literally whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll pay for it like any other normal person. Like, if you go and eat a really, really hot Indian, you're going to go to the toilet, you know what I mean? So, like, same thing would happen to me, maybe just a bit worse. But yeah, that's symptom-wise after the reversal. I was petrified that it wasn't going to work out, and thankfully it did. However, I'm very aware that it doesn't. I know a girl that got it, and for the best part of over a year, she was messaging me all the time, like, do you have any advice? Like, how much longer do you think I'll need to wait until I feel better and stuff? And it was just so sad for her, because I was just hoping and praying that she had the same outcome as myself. However, everybody's body's different, and you just don't know how someone else is going to take to it. But I've been very lucky, I must admit.
And since the reversal, and since after kind of the period of kind of healing your body again, have you had any flare-ups? Are you still taking any medication to kind of maintain your ulcerative colitis?
See, to be honest, Tony, I probably should be taking medication well, not right now because I'm actually okay. I just mean in general, I should probably take medication for it. However, I've kind of took my own route with it, if you want to say. The amount of medications that I had tried, and I'm not like, what's the word? Like, I'm not advertising or like promoting anybody else to do this, by the way. It's just what I've done. But the amount of medications that I took was just beyond belief, and the side effects that I was getting from them, not even to do with my stomach, just more like mentally and feeling spaced out, and just never really, like, steroids were the worst things on planet Earth. Like, oh my goodness. And I just thought to myself, when I got the reversal, I thought my main aim is to get this and never take any medication again. But I'm quite a health freak, if you want to say it. As I said, I go to the gym quite a lot. I eat really well. I take a lot of supplements, natural supplements. So I kind of looked into my own way of trying to like heal myself, if you want to say. So I just changed my diet a lot. I mean, I eat a lot of whole foods. Don't get me wrong, I have a binge and I have the odd whatever, but primarily I eat a lot of whole foods, which is obviously really good for you. I take a lot of natural supplements, things that help my body, and I exercise at least like 4 times a week now. So I think I've built up like an immunity to, I don't know, like not an immunity to not needing to take tablets. Don't mean it like that, but I think I've just got myself in a healthy place. I'm not saying if I had to go into a flare up tomorrow, because I've never had like a big flare up since the reversal. If I had to go into that tomorrow, I'm not saying that I wouldn't need medication to get it under control, but I think the way that I live my lifestyle now definitely helps to how healthy that I am in general with the colitis.
Has there been any kind of like, I know you exercise and you eat healthily, but are there any other kind of big changes that you've made to your life that you think have really kind of enhanced your ability to like keep on top of things? And by that, like with I think we've talked about before, like drinking, for example.
Yeah, so I've cut alcohol out completely. It's not that I'm strict with myself and I'm like, I don't drink alcohol. It's just more, I can't do it. Like, it makes me feel terrible, Tony, and that's the only words that I've got for it in many different ways. Like, I was at an event a couple of weeks ago and I didn't drink, and towards the end I started to get a bit like, everybody was like, it was a good mood, it was a nice day, it was sunny, and the wine was flowing, and I had 2 wines. And see, the minute I had the first one, I just thought, why have I just done that? Like, I actually feel terrible, and you knew you were going to feel like that, and it's it can make me run to the toilet, but also it gives me major like anxiety. I don't know if that's related to the colitis as well, because I used to drink all the time, but be like constantly paranoid about it because I knew I had to get to the toilet at some point. So yeah, I've cut alcohol out. Don't get me wrong, as I said, I had 2 wines 2 weeks ago, but that's the second drink this year that I've had. So I maybe have like 1 or 2 if I feel in the mood, but I cannot drink alcohol all the time. It just floors me completely, and I always found that I was quite like the party person when I was younger. Like, I was the party girl. I was there. Anywhere there was a party, I was there. I was drinking. I was the last one to go home. I was the big character, the one that was always whatever else. And see, now I'm just like, ugh. When I got diagnosed, people said to me straight away, like, oh, what's wrong with you? What you want to go home for and all that? And I'm like, I need to go home. Like, it was just, it completely affected my body. I noticed that it affected my physical body a lot differently than everybody else's. Like, even now I can still see my pals can go out and drink for like a whole night, and there'll be a point where I'll just hit a brick wall and be like, I cannot do this. And it's just because it just drains my body.
Well, it's really important for everyone to recognise the things that we put into our bodies which are good for us, or as you say, that you just react differently to some things, and to kind of learn from that. And I mean, you were saying because you were a party girl, do you think that people, something we've talked about, took issue that you've had to make these changes, and you've had to really say to them, like, no, this is my new lifestyle, and kind of get on board or get lost?
Yeah. Yeah, I have. See, to be honest, I'm quite a social person, so I can still go to these types of things and not drink and still enjoy myself. Like on Friday, I was at an event with all my friends and I didn't drink and it was completely fine. I just drove and came home, and they're all fine. Don't get me wrong, I get the odd like, what you not drinking for? And I mean, in Scotland, like that's just what people do. Like that's one of the only things that people do is just drink. So it's like, what you not drinking for? And oh, you know, drinking. And so I get the comments like that. However, I must admit that, like, I am in quite a good bunch of people that if I just turn around and say, no, I'm not, I can't, it makes me feel terrible. Don't get me wrong, I will get the feel, oh, come on, you're a good laugh when you're drunk, blah, blah, blah. And I just need to say, look, I can't, no. And that's it. So I can still go out and basically still be myself and be outgoing and be whatever without the drink. So it does affect me and it doesn't, but I do have a good group of people around me, and I'm actually noticing that there's a lot more people deciding to not drink alcohol recently. So yeah, it's not that bad because I do have other people around about me that are in the same position as well.
There's certainly been a real shift, and there's so many other kind of available drinks where actually lots of people don't want to drink or
Yeah,
like have the hangover, or maybe it's just that I'm getting older, or we're all getting older, and we have responsibilities that and hangovers are real things
yeah, and they're
that
very
change.
tough done.
But you talk about like your friends and the support, which is really amazing. And has that been kind of throughout the entire your whole journey, if you will, and how people reacted to kind of you having the bag, not having the bag, these changes, and also the support? You've talked about sort of social media. How's that kind of happened?
So yeah, people are really really good, I must say. My friends and stuff are really good. My family were really good about it. I think at the start people were a bit like, oh my god, she's got a bag type thing, like didn't know how to take it. But then when they seen how I reacted with it, they were just like, right, okay, well if she's fine with it, then what does it matter? Um, Obviously I've had other partners in between that as well, and that's been a big thing, having to meet people when I had the bag, when I didn't have it. So yeah, I've always had support from my friends and family. I met my current partner like last year, and I had to basically I had to tell him the first day that I met him that I had colitis, because we were actually at a log cabin for my cousin's birthday, and he came up, and I was like, I need the toilet. What am I going to do? And he wasn't meant to come up, and I was like, oh no, oh no. So we went to a log cabin, like quite a few of us, for her birthday, and the next day she broke her phone and she'd get her partner to take her away to get it fixed, and it was only me and him in this log cabin, and I'm sitting like, I need the toilet, I need the toilet. I have to get out now. This is the first time I've ever met him, and he got up. He was in a different room, and he got up and he came in and he was like, "Morning." I was like, "Morning." How are you? And he says, "Do you want me to go up to the garage and get us a coffee?" And I was like, "Yep, please go." On you go up to the garage, get us a coffee, and he did. Thank God, and he came back down. And I just said to him when he came back down, I just said, "Look, I've got a really dodgy stomach, and this is the way that I am. I struggle, even though." It's just going to the toilet. I can't go to the toilet in the same place as other people sometimes, Tony. I can't do it. I need them to get out. It's so
Yeah.
bad. But that's something that's affected me. Do you know what I mean? And even though he's understanding and he completely gets it, like now we've been going out for however long and it's completely fine, right? But that was a big thing for me. And I had to say to him, like, when we were in his house, like, I need to go home, can I go to the toilet? And luckily we only stay like 5 minutes away from each other, so that's fine. But he's like, Courtney, you don't like need to go home. Like, it's only me. And I'm like, no, it's just the way I am. That's just what makes me feel comfortable. But we've got by that now and stuff. But yeah, to begin with, I didn't know how like romantic partners would take things as well. And then I've got a lot of scars because my surgery was emergency, so none of it was done keyhole. So I've got a lot of scars, and I had to explain what they were and stuff. But surprisingly, everybody that I meet is actually really, really, really nice, and like they want to be educated on it as well. So yeah, I would say I've had a lot of support, definitely, and it has educated a lot of people, and a lot of people are more understanding than you would maybe think.
Has that been any part of your mission to kind of educate people and let people know that these conditions do exist, and actually we should be talking about them more?
Yeah, because when I was younger, I was really, really shy to like say like that I had problems with my stomach, because I would think people would be like, oh my god, and like, oh, like I don't. It's a touchy subject, isn't it? Like some people are just not all right with toilet jokes and whatever else, and some people are, and like I've got people that I can turn around and be like, and I know this is like funny, but I've got people that I can turn around and say like, oh my god, I'm going to shit myself, I need to go to the toilet now. And then there's other people that you just would never dream of like opening your mouth in front of. Do you know what I mean? So it has been my mission, because it's such a stigmatized subject and people don't want to talk, and it can be awkward, so nobody, then that just leads to nobody talking about it. So as I've got older, I mean, don't get me wrong, like see when I was younger, if you would talk to me about going to the toilet or try and embarrass me for going to the toilet, I'd be like mortified, need to leave now. But see, as I've got older, and obviously I've got a condition where that's just the case, I've just kind of learned to like make a joke of it, and but not in a way that I'm like belittling it or anything, or like nothing like that, but just make a joke of it, and if you don't laugh you'll cry type thing. What you meant to do, like, because obviously I still suffer from symptoms from it, even though I've had a bag and a reversal. I'm definitely not like the next normal person sitting next to me that's not got IBD, do you know what I mean? Definitely not. But I think I just try and make a laugh and a joke out of it, Tony, because it is what it is.
Totally. And I think, what would you say to somebody who was, facing surgery, and whether that is actually the stoma surgery or reversal? Can you like share any advice or tips that somebody approaching that?
Be patient. Be patient, and I know that it's so hard. Like I remember lying in the bed after the bag and thinking, right, I just want to get up and go back to normal now. Or why is this not back to normal yet? Why do I not just feel fine again? And I used to wake up every day wondering what I was going to feel like that day to see if I was going to feel better. But what I would say is definitely stay patient. I was lucky that things kind of happened for me quite fast in the healing process, but I know a girl, and it's took her nearly the best part of 2 years since her reversal to feel okay. And it just all really depends what you want. I would never, ever, ever be ashamed of having that bag, ever. That's one of the, I think it's such a brave thing to come out and like there's loads of people on Instagram, and it's like girls in that's their like content is like them in their bag, and I'm just like, that's amazing, because I don't think I'd be able to do that, and it's not out of being ashamed or anything, just a confidence thing. So I would say to people to definitely be patient, be strong 100%, and just remind themselves that regardless how they're feeling about the bag or how they're feeling about having a reversal, this is going to save your life. Do you know what I mean? Or it's going to enhance your life at the very least, and or else you wouldn't be getting it. Do you know what I mean? So definitely keep your head high and just try and be as positive as you can, because I used to look at all the negatives so much, and now I look back and I just think that saved my life and gave me years that I maybe wouldn't even have had. So definitely it would just to be to keep strong. I know it's a really, really difficult thing, and it's not all bad as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Courtney. I really, really enjoyed talking to you. And yeah, thank you ever so much.
Really appreciate it, Tony. Thank you.
I'll speak to you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Have you seen the new Ostique skins yet? Ostique Skins are revolutionary ostomy pouch covers that were created to make the wearer feel confident, sexy and powerful in all of life's moments. From moments of intimacy to lounging by the pool, conquering a workout or simply heading out to lunch, Skins have you covered. Even better, they're compatible with all major colostomy and ileostomy bags. Ostique Skins are available in a range of colours and skin tones, and they're made from a revolutionary material that's completely waterproof, high quality, soft and comfortable. Skins are easy to use, even with reduced dexterity, and they work with both closed and drainable bags. Plus, Skins are also environmentally friendly and vegan. There are 4 bundles available to buy now, and you can also purchase individual skins. Head to ostique.co.uk to find out more.